Hi, we're so awkward. I'm Brooke.
I'm Rachel.
Welcome to spring. We've got a fun and beneficial project we're making this month because we are making a
Aloha Sewing Company surgery recovery pillow.
Why would we need to make a surgery pillow?
Because I'm having a major surgery coming up.
Well, it's going to be good that we're going to be making the surgery recovery pillow.
Yeah, this pillow is really wonderful because not only is it good for holding ice packs or heat packs, it can also be for the car to protect your incision sites from the seatbelt.
Yes, and you get just something to hug.
Yeah, something to hug.
So this is going to be a easy project.
We'll see.
Ooh, knock on wood. Well, let's get sewing.
Yeah, let's get sewing.
We are quietly approaching the wild Rachel as she searches and hunts through her fabric bin to find the right piece.
Oh my gosh, this is like an archaeological dig. There's so much stuff in here.
We can't make any sudden movements because it could startle her and all the pieces would go flying.
Achoo!
Oh, God. You gotta clean that up. As always, we are improvising part of our project. The pocket's kind of confusing.
So what she wants us to do is make a pocket, and then you fold in the edges so it's one layer of pocket. And then you put it in the middle of your piece and sew it down. But we were thinking it's going to be much smaller than this, and also it won't be able to hold like a water bottle or anything
Or a heating
larger
pad,
than
yeah.
like a little square. So I'm making mine to be basically another piece of the front pillow and hiding seams in the bottom.
Yes, as well as I am.
That way it has enough strength to support something heavier than just a small ice pack.
Good thinking, Rachel.
I'm putting my pocket onto my main fabric piece, and I cut a piece of fabric about the size of the center portion, and so the final size is 16 by 12, and then I fold it in the corners so that it's no raw edge there. And then I sewed down the top, and now I'm attaching it here. I'm not going to sew the bottom of it yet until I do this, till I sew the whole thing together. And then I'll put the bottom, then I'll sew this into the seam allowance so that that's hidden. And then it'll be big enough to put a water bottle in.
Da, 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 da.
A full water bottle.
Yes.
Because this is not, it poofs up.
Yeah, and I just measured the water bottle and I made my pocket an inch bigger than the water bottle. So you can lay it sideways or up, whatever you want to do. Ta-da! Okay. Yeah, okay, Rachel, make sure the pretty sides are kissing. And I say that because that's what she says.
That's what she says in the video.
That's what she said. Make sure those pretty sides are kissing. I am now sandwiched the two pieces together, and now I'm going to sew all the way around, and I'm going to leave gappage where I'm going to be sewing lines. Well, not where I'm going to be sewing lines, but where I'm going to be filling with stuffing afterwards, because I'm going to have three separate components to my pillow. Compartments, not components.
You might just want to redo that whole scene.
I'm keeping it.
This month's plant of the month is the clematis, or as some people say, clematis. Trust me, there are people that say that. The clematis is a flowering vine, and of course it's just a young one. This is a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, and it's just starting to spoke up little spring little buds right now, and it's going to start growing up these poles. This is all old growth from last year, and it's starting to sprout from last year's stem. And clematis do like to be pruned all the way down, which I did not do, but you can prune them all the way down to encourage growth for the next year. Now with the clematis, it's spring, it's time to wake it up. So we have some good organic granular fertilizer here, and you're just gonna put some in there. Doot, 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 doot. Rain's gonna come in and get that all wet, and it's gonna go down into the soil, and it's gonna feed that plant so that your plant will grow nice and big. but also produce some beautiful blooms in about 2 months. So enjoy your clematis. Are you finished? Are you finished?
Yeah.
I don't know why I bother waiting for you.
Because
Your machine is faster than mine,
you're so nice.
and when I stop and stuff, my thread doesn't automatically cut, so I have to cut my thread and reposition. So here I just spent the last 15 minutes waiting for you, and then you
I zoomed around my whole
zoomed
thing.
around the entire thing, and now
I'm examining my pillow and where the pocket is, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed it. No, I didn't. That's where you put the stuffing in.
Yes, it's a hole that you left on. Now, did you leave
it on
3
purpose.
holes?
I did leave 3 holes.
A good surgery
On
pillow.
purpose.
A good surgery pillow should have 3 holes.
It should.
I've sewed a seam here and a seam here. So there's going to be 3 separate filled cushion parts, so it wraps around your body like a good old-fashioned pillow hug.
oh my gosh, that's the hardest part of this whole thing. Hello, and welcome to the Awkward Corner, where we have so many opinions. With me today, as always, is Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Today we're going to be talking about holes. When you sew a project that requires stuffing, you're often left with a hole. What do you do with the said hole? Well, a lot of people say hand stitch the hole up. But there's other opinions that say use a machine. Rachel, what's your opinion?
I use the machine all the way because when you're stitching something precious, you do want to have a nice clean edge for the closure. However, I just want to get it over with and done.
Oh.
So I use the machine, and it's not pretty, but it gets the job done.
So for something precious, maybe hand stitch, but when you want it done dirty and quick, go for the machine.
Machine all the way, though.
Yes. Thank you for sharing, Rachel.
You're welcome.
And until next time.
It's that time of the month for our monthly tip. Just the tip. So you say you want to add on a pocket that's bigger than the one that comes with your pattern. Here you go. You just take your pattern piece and you can put it on here and you can cut it the same width as here on a fold. So it's 7.5 inches. And then I would add an inch for your seam allowance because you're folding in a 1/2 inch twice on each side. Then for the height, it just depends on how high you want your water bottle cozy to be. And you would take it and add an inch to whatever your measurement was for your water bottle. And then when you sew it in, you just put the bottom edge into your seam allowance. And that way you don't have to sew up the bottom of it as well. Anyway, so when you are trying to add something that's not in your pattern, just make sure to count for your seam allowance. Otherwise, you won't have enough fabric.
That's a wrap on our surgery recovery pillow.
Yeah, it was great.
It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, the pocket's wonderful, especially since we made the pocket bigger. It's enough to hold a water bottle.
Yeah.
Or I thought maybe like a water bottle to drink with a straw. You could just have it there.
Yeah.
Your remote can go in there. Cold packs.
Yeah, and even when I hold it here, it helps relieve pressure from my shoulders. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another one, but have the pocket go this way. So I'm going to sew the top and the bottom, and then I can put my hands in here, and then I can just hold my hands like this.
Or
Or
the water.
Do the water bottle through the side.
And also for back support.
Back lumbar support would be great too. Yeah.
How many fat quarters would you give it?
I'm gonna give it 5 fat quarters for the outcome of it.
Yeah,
The hardest part,
super easy to sew. The hardest part was this.
sewing the holes closed. That was the hardest part.
Because I didn't use clips.
No.
Also, I wouldn't stuff it very full. I think I might have done too much stuffing.
Yeah, you don't need a ton of stuffing.
You don't want too much pressure when you're holding it.
Yeah.
The other thing was the fabric requirements said half a yard, and I think you definitely need a yard plus whatever you need for your fabric pocket.
Yeah, so I don't know why that was like that. So
I don't either. There's also no instruction on the paper that you get. You have to watch the YouTube video on how to put it together.
But it's not that
hard to figure out.
We watched it anyway, just in case, just because. But you could easily just whip this together yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, don't forget to like us on Facebook and Instagram and follow us on YouTube so that you do not miss any of our episodes. And until next time, don't forget to be so awkward.
Staying alive. Staying alive.